Okay, I guess we were in the middle of this horrible sci-fi. Anyway, now that I think about it, yeah, imagine if you had heavy water. Then you have, of course, an oxygen bonded to two deuteriums, or whatever you want to call them, right? Well, the orbital, or the energy eigenstates of the electron that would orbit just a deuterium would be extremely similar to those around just an ordinary hydrogen, because that neutron doesn't interact with the electron electromagnetically. It's neutral. That's why we call it a neutron. And it adds mass, but gravity is like negligible in that context. And it also adds volume to the nucleus, but the volume of the nucleus is also negligible in this context as well. And it would also interact the hydrogen nucleus would, of course, interact electromagnetically in an extremely similar way with the electrons around the oxygen as an ordinary hydrogen nucleus would. And you can kind of think of a chemical bond as opposite nuclei pulling, like a covalent bond, that is, pulling on the electrons of the opposite atom. That's not really the best description, particularly mathematically. Like, we mathematically describe it a little differently. We would say that when you have two nuclei close together, you have a changes what the set of energy eigenstates are, and with a certain number of electrons, the total energy would be low, or could be potentially lower, and that would be balanced out with the repulsive force of the nuclei. But anyway, and when that is balanced together, then you have a local minimum of energy, and that's where you have the bond length. That because the electromagnetic forces would be extremely similar, the bond the bond energy and the bond tension, that is the deep depth of the energy well, that is the bond, and the parabolic approximation of the energy with respect to length at the bottom of the bond would be extremely similar to that if you just had normal hydrogen. So you can think of that as like a spring, right? The bond is like a spring, because at the minimum of the bond, the minimum energy versus bond length, that the minimum on that curve is approximately a parabola there. That spring tension would be equivalent to if it was ordinary water and not heavy water. But the mass of the deuterium is about double that of the ordinary hydrogen. So the mass on the spring is heavier. And if the frequency of oscillation of that, if it were to be excited, it would be the square root of k over m, which hopefully that's right. I haven't gone back and checked. And that would decrease the frequency of oscillation of that bond by about a factor of root 2. So if you were to do an infrared spectroscopy on this heavy water, you would see the resonance peak at 1 over root 2 the frequency you would if it was just ordinary water. And you could argue, well, that could, because it jiggles slower, it's a different jiggle, that could very subtly affect the reactivity of something if, you had little differences there. That's on the hydrogen specifically, though. If you were to add neutrons to the carbon atoms and big hydrocarbon chains, that increases the mass of the carbon by a smaller fraction. It doesn't double it. It just adds it changes from 12 to 13 or 12 to 14. And so that would change its chemical properties very slightly. And yeah, I mean, as far as I understand, carbon-14 in the body behaves exactly the same as carbon-12 does in the body. It doesn't really make a difference. It's just occasionally the carbon-14 will decay down into carbon-12, and in doing so, probably I would assume releases some radiation, which can damage nearby or far away organic molecules. We don't really like that. It's not really the biggest source of radiation you would be exposed to really in your life, I would assume. Like, there's stuff coming out of the ground. It's worse than stuff coming out of yourself. The only isotopes of carbon I think I did like are relevant are 12, 13, and 14. 13 is a really small half-life, probably. I didn't look it up, I would guess, because you don't really talk about it that much. 14 has kind of a long half-life. It's useful for dating things, but it's not like as long as carbon. It's not stable, and eventually it decays. There is no such thing as unknown carbon isotopes. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's probably there's a big catalog of how many neutrons added to a carbon, what the half-life of that is. There really isn't very much room for creativity there. That's just kind of silly, and doing so, isotoping your carbon is not going to make you the whole like it's not even it's just like yeah, but it's sci-fi, yeah, but like it's so bad though. It's like they're just like not, you couldn't even wrongly think about this in any way that would even remotely even anything that adding neutrons to the nucleus of the carbon atoms is going to have anything to do with immortality. That just like it doesn't even start on the right foot. Yeah, or no reason to I said just you're operating on wrong like scales of things. Isotopes rewrite the DNA? You mean change the sequence of the nitrogenous base pairs? Really? By means of isotopes? Really? You could like do like a slightly less like the original was better at this because it was more vague, right? So it didn't you couldn't nitpick the it mimics cells and goes dormant, whatever that means. Organisms on Earth are carbon-based life forms. Yay. DNA cells everything is made of carbon compounds. Yeah, of course, except the nitrogenous bases in the DNA. But yeah, most things are based on carbon. The Curie virus theoretically could create any carbon compound. Oh yeah, this again doesn't make any sense because viruses contain nucleic acids and nucleic acids code for proteins. So viruses make proteins. They don't make anything else. They just make proteins. Sometimes they make proteins that are part of the virus. Sometimes they make special proteins to facilitate chemical reactions called enzymes. A specific enzyme called reverse transcriptase is one they make. But that's about it. And bond them more robustly than normal carbon compounds. Again, isotoping doesn't change the energy states of the electrons moving around the nuclei in any appreciable way, so it doesn't really change bond strength that much, especially when it's carbon. Carbon in particular doesn't really change it that much. With influence from these previous unknown carbon atoms. Oh my god, what is carbon-15? It is hypothesized that because of this, cell regeneration is rapid, and the cells themselves are very hardy. Correct. Cancers, reactive oxygen species, aging, etc. are all considered attacks on the Curie virus within cells which trigger their eradication, like inducing apoptosis. Basically, it's kind of like a better lysosomes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like I was talking about the sci-fi in my 10-hour-long thing. I said, yeah, I mean, you could imagine how it could make you more resistant to cancer, even though it turned on the telomerase, because it made the immune system so much better. You can make an immune system that's much better at detecting the cancer and killing it early, so you don't actually get like malignant cancers that kill you. You can't really just eradicate things, but, well, whatever. When exposed to long wavelengths of ultraviolet light, an unknown carbon... You mean like UVA? You mean like purple? Is that what you mean here? Long wavelengths of ultraviolet light? An unknown carbon isotope undergoes something like beta decay, cool, where molecular bonds can no longer be maintained. You what, mate? As a result, the collapse of all cells occurs. Whatever. The Curie virus is in a sense a parasitic virus. It provides the host with a stronger body, immortality, and ensures safety during parasitism. The host body structure is reconstructed into a colony-like composition similar to a comb jellyfish. Even if a fatal injuries occur, other organs temporarily maintain vital functions, during which time regeneration can occur. Since cells are constantly metabolized, they are disposed of as waste like regular human cells. They include their hair and dead skin. These include hair and dead skin. It's presumed that eggs and sperm are classified similarly and are not affected by the Curie virus. Okay. When all cells are infected and rewritten, the host will be reborn into a new species. A new species. It's previously provisionally called the Curie species. A unique characteristic of the Curie species is the ability to shift the body according to one's desires. It is believed that this is because the strong will of the host promotes the activation of the Curie virus. There are two types of bodily shifts. One is a sudden change in shape. This is a cellular shift caused by carbon compounds temporarily synthesized within the Curie virus. Then there's a shift that occurs at the genetic level. When this happens, the characteristics are added to all genes of the body after the shift.
Curie.
Okay, got through that. I mean, saying it turned the telomerase on is bad, but it's not as bad as whatever that nonsense was. Okay. You members, while observing the diagnosis results and associated data on LEMARE.
一度だけ聞いたことがあったけど、それも都市伝説のような話として。
I've only heard of it once, but I thought it was an urban legend.
でもまさか、つぐみがキュレイのキャリアだったなんて。
But I never imagined that you were a carrier of Curie, Tsugumi.
軽蔑してもらって結構よ。
I am fine with you hating me.
軽蔑だなんて、そんな。
I don't hate you.
じゃあ、怖い？
Aren't you scared?
私が怖いでしょ？言う。
Aren't you scared of me, you?
本当は関わり合いになりたくないと思っていたんでしょ？
Deep down, you probably didn't want to get involved, right?
そんなことないよ。
That's not true. I don't know what exactly I'm getting involved with, but what? You shakes her head. You seem like a person to me. Why?
どうしてそう思うのよ。
Why do you think that?
だって。
Well... Tsugumi bites her lip as she speaks.
私だけが。ほら、こうして苦しまずにいるじゃないの。
It's just that I'm the only one here who's not suffering. Okay, I see this.
あなたたちが血を吐いて、やがて床に這うのを、心の中で嘲笑っているかもしれないのよ。
I could be secretly mocking you in my mind, watching you spit up blood and crawl on the floor.
そういうひどい怪物なのよ。私は。
That's the kind of terrible monster I am. You looks away from Tsugumi.
僕はそうは思わないよ。
I don't think like that. Still clinging to Coco's chamber, the boy speaks.
つぐみがひどいやつだなんて思っていないよ。
I don't think you're a terrible person, Tsugumi, because...
つぐみはココを助けたことがあるじゃないか。
You helped Coco out before.
命がけで誰かを助けたことがあるじゃないか。
You've risked your life to save someone.
だから何なのよ。
So what?
私は今、そうしたことを悔いている。
I regret doing that now.
ココは今、ティーフ・ブラウンによって苦しめられているじゃないの。
Isn't Coco suffering from Teeth Blau now? Oops, Tsugumi, you stepped in it. You realize that you killed it. She's suffering.
ポットの中で、今にも死にそうに、もがいているわ。
She is struggling as she's about to die in the chamber.
私が気まぐれで彼女を救ったりしなければ、そんなことにはならなかった。
If I hadn't saved her, this wouldn't be happening. Tsugumi? Just stop it already. I shout using all my strength. You're still saying stuff like that. Things you don't truly mean.
本心よ。
I do mean them. Don't lie to me.
嘘なんかじゃない。
I'm not lying. Yeah, it's like your smokescreen of words.
だって、
I mean...
事実だもの。 私だけが今ティーフ・ブラウンにかかっていない。
I mean, it's the truth that I'm the only one not infected with Teeth Blau right now.
どう？事実を受け入れる気になってくれた？
So, what do you think? Are you ready to accept the truth? It's kind of classic talking past each other. The stuff you're saying about your thinking is all a lie. Oh no, like the stuff I said about not having Teeth Blau is not a lie. Which is more smokescreen of words, right? Tsugumi smiles, but I can see her underlying sadness. Yeah, that's right, you're not infected with Teeth Blau. That's an undeniable fact. But, thanks to you, we might be saved.
え？
Huh? Of course, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know the details, but smallpox, penicillin, and anti-venom. If you're as smart as you seem, you should understand what I said, why I said that, right? No.
まさか。
You don't mean... That's exactly what I mean. Your body already has antibodies to the Teeth Blau virus, we'll extract them from you. It's like, smallpox is a virus, okay? Penicillin is an antibiotic. I don't know what antivenom is. I presume it's a compound that inhibits venom because it binds to it or reacts with it and makes it so that it cannot react in your body. There's a lot of different things here, okay, that are not really related that much besides their kind of, besides pathology. They're I said a bunch of stuff in the same academic discipline. If your body already has antibodies to the Teeth Blau virus, we'll extract them from you. If we get those antibodies, there's a possibility we can eradicate our Teeth Blau too. Which kind of works.
馬鹿げてる。
That's absurd, ridiculous. Tsugumi narrows her eyes even more.
そんなに簡単じゃないのよ。抗生物質やワクチンを生成するのは。
It's not that easy to produce antibiotics or vaccines. And this, of course, is something that's not neither an antibiotic nor a vaccine.
浅はかにも程があるわ。
You're being incredibly naive. Naive without the umlaut over the I, because they don't care with that, deal with that stuff. I think it's like a French word, though, so they have a different word for the double dot than umlaut. That's the German word for it, a German term for that. I don't know what it is in French.
うかつにそんなことをして、逆にみんなが死んでしまったらどうするのよ。
What if everyone ends up dead because of this? Oh, because the wrong blood type? Well... Use a separator gel to keep the erythrocytes out, and then you don't have to worry about blood type. At this rate, we're all goners anyway. Tsugumi gulps. Her face freezes in place like she's paralyzed. You and the boy lift their heads to look at me. That's right, if we do nothing, we're gonna die. In the end, we'll end up like that researcher.
あの死んだ研究員もアンプルは打っていたみたいよ。空になったアンプルが2つあったから。
That dead researcher had injected the medication from the vials. This is the orange medication, by the way. There were 2 empty vials. If that's the case, we have no choice but to bet on the possibility of surviving, even if it's small. Good. Damn, another nosebleed. Blood's dripping from my nose, my mouth, my whole face is covered in blood. It's really embarrassing. I wipe my face off. It's laughably embarrassing, don't you think so? Come on, smile, Tsugumi. I reach my hand out to her, my hand covered in blood.
やめて。近寄らないで。
Stop it, stay away from me.
いやよ。私は。
I don't want this. Tsugumi reluctantly shakes her head and steps back.
聞いて、倉成。つぐみも。
Listen, Kurenari, you too, Tsugumi. Yeah, interesting that she calls Takeshi by his last name and Tsugumi by her first name. Still sitting on the terminal chair, you speak
こ
softly.
の診療室の奥に個人用のラボがあるの。
There's a personal lab in the back of this medical room.
遠心分離機のついたアンプル生成用のマシンも備えられてる。
It's equipped with a machine for purifying vials, whatever that means, along with the centrifuge. I know what that means.
あれなら素早く正確にティーフブラウ抗体を抽出できるかもしれない。
If we use that, we might be able to extract Tiefblau antibodies quickly and accurately. Well, no, if you would have done that, I think you would just take like a bunch of serum, just blue scoose it, because then if you just get it all, you get it all.
ティーフブラウをスキャンで見つけられるんだから、きっと抗体もスキャンで見つけ出して抽出できるはずよ。
You just want the red blood cells out, because you can mix blood types with that and you can kill people. Since we detect Tiefblau through the scan, we should be able to find and extract the antibodies the same way. You deliberately speaking calmly and in a low voice. Tsugumi, please help us, I'm begging you.
来ないで。
Stay away. Of course, she's all, like, resistant to this in just her route, but then in the Sora route, for some reason, she isn't. That's why you don't rewrite it that way, you authors.
私に
Doesn't make sense.
触らないで。
Don't you touch me. Staggering a corner Tsugumi all the way back towards the beds.
そうまでして生きるなんて。
Maybe it's like she cares more about giving them Cure now, because she cares about them more if it's her route. I don't know. And Sora starts, she's like, whatever, just have it. Going to such lengths to stay alive.
一度キュレイになれば怪物になってしまったら二度と元の人間には戻れないのよ。
Once you get Cure, once you become a monster, you can never go back to being human again. You know that.
それにそうなったら
And you know what kind of fate you'll face then? Yes, I'll marry
出
you.
るの？
Not too bad, is it? The Cure virus doesn't necessarily always spread, right? You yourself said that you were a special case, didn't you? Please, this is how it has to be. I know it's selfish as well as risky. Well, let us take the chance that everyone might live. I want to believe that there's hope. I stand quietly in front of Tsugumi. Quietly, well, I guess after you're done speaking. My legs are wobbly. My vision is getting blurry. While I stand determinedly aware of the life within me. I lock eyes with Tsugumi. I try to peer deeply into those eyes to see what lay at their depths. A retina.
もう人でいられなくなるのよ。
You won't be human anymore.
他の人にあんな辛い思いをさせたくはないの。
I don't want any of you to have to experience that pain. Well, just get rid of Lieblich then. Tsugumi's eyes are brimming with tears, and every other evil person in the world. Oh, wait. Okay, never mind.
いやよ、私は
I don't want that.
私は
So it's come to this. I raise my hand high. I bring it down with force. The orange vial shatters into pieces, spreading orange liquid in every direction. Well, now there's no turning back. There's only one option left.
バカ。
Like the orange vial was an option, like what you did really means anything, Takeshi, but whatever. You idiot.
なんてバカなことをしてくれるのよ。
Why would you do something so stupid? Yeah, like, well, I don't know why you would think that even matters. Like,
そんなことしなくたって
you didn't need to do that.
私は
With this, I've entrusted our livelihoods to the antibodies of the Cure virus. I black out for a while after that. I don't know what time it is. I don't know if this is a dream or reality. Am I alive? Am I dead? Where am I even thinking these thoughts? So I guess you takes care of all the science. I hear faint voices coming from somewhere, but my body feels devoid of strength. I can't even open my eyes.
もう大丈夫。
It's alright now.
うまくいったと思う。
I think it worked.
これで
Now,
もし目覚めなかったら
if you don't wake up,
許さないから。
I won't forgive you.
あなたのこと許さないから。
I'll never ever forgive you. Like, what did he do? If he, like, tried giving himself Tsugumi's blood serum, and then, or plasma, it depends on if they clotted it or not, I don't know, they probably wouldn't because they have, like, they're on a time scale, so it'll probably be plasma. And he died. Well, he didn't turn into a curé, so what you're afraid of didn't happen, so I don't know. I mean, it really didn't do much to you to get a blood sample, really. I mean, I'll never ever forgive you.
つぐみ、どこに行くの？
Tsugumi, where are you going?
私ね、
Oh,
大切な友達を上に置いてきちゃったのよ。
I left a precious friend behind up above. So they didn't rewrite this out of it. They left it so that she leaves Chammy in Lemu. Okay.
迎えに行かなくちゃ。大切な私の友達。
I have to go get her, the precious friend of mine. This is Tomodachi friend here. They didn't fix one of the biggest flaws of the original game. I guess maybe maybe they changed Chammy from a him to a her here is well, one of the possible reasons is just that Chammy would be agendered in Japanese. They don't have to gender Chammy, so they kind of leave it ambiguous, right? So yeah, but in order to use pronouns in English, you have to pick one. But and the Hiromaki translators, these translators just happen to pick different ones, even though there's evidence that these translators like worked off the Hiromaki translation because of the chicken sandwich thing, right? And some early stuff going on with the kid. The other thing could be maybe they want this line to make it sound more ambiguous, whether she's talking about Sora or Chammy. Maybe.
ジャンガリアンハムスター。
It's a Jogarian hamster, and then the ambiguity just would immediately end. Okay.
名前はチャミ。
Her name is Chammy.
つぐみ、気をつけて。
Tsugumi, be careful.
ありがとう。
Thanks.
ちょっと行ってくるね。
I'll be back soon. Or she could be totally lying when she says this because she could think she's going to escape with the Cosmishirval, right? So, Cosmishirval. There's no reason why she has to be back, but whatever. Does she come back? I wake up from my daze. Is there going to rewrite this so that, like, Takeshi just stays behind and waits for Tsugumi to come back? And she does on her own? I feel something cold, hard. I realize I've been lying on the floor, sleeping. I slowly lift my body. I make fists, relax my hands. I don't feel any discomfort. I shake my head vigorously. I slap my cheeks. Breathing in the crisp, cold air, my foggy mind clears. I place my hands on the floor and lift my heavy, tired body. In the Sora route, the maintenance room floods before the route back to IBF by the elevator gets destroyed. And so there is a window of time where they could be in a situation where the Cosmishirval is unusable, but they could still get back down to IBF. And so that would force Tsugumi back down to IBF, just like in the original game. My legs are a bit unsteady, but I managed to stand. I find several used syringes rolling on the floor. Everyone hates you, don't they? No, notice there's a fresh puncture wound in my arm. The antibodies seem to have been successfully administered. I can vaguely recall what happened. You purified the vials which Tsugumi then took. All of us should have received an injection. And then where did Tsugumi go? I look around the medical room. The boy remains slumped against Coco's chamber. He looks like he's unconscious, but his complexion is slightly improved. Yu is sprawled over the console of the terminal, snoring. She seems to be sweating and appears somewhat uncomfortable, but it seems like she's past the worst of it. Her hand remains pressed against the panel. Perhaps she was in the middle of entering something. And of course, Coco has not been injected with antibodies because she's still in the pod. The monitor displays repeated text, meaningless and looping. Please respond. What now? I hear a noise. I remove my earpiece. Please respond. Is that a person's voice? I put the earpiece back on. Please respond. IBF Area 4, please respond. This is the HQ of the Japan Coast Guard Special Rescue Team.
インゼルヌルより指示を行っています。
We are issuing instructions from Insail Knoll. Someone's voice is coming from the terminal speaker. I rush to the terminal, pushing aside Yu's hand to operate the panel. Hello? This is, IBF Area 4, or somewhere around there.
エリア4、応答は医務室からか。こちらはインゼルヌル管制室、海上保安庁特殊救難隊本部。
Area 4, is this coming from the medical room? This is HQ of the Japan Coast Guard Special Rescue Team. We're in the control room of Insail Knoll.
こちらの通信が聞こえるか。
Can you hear my voice? Yeah, loud and clear. I managed to squeeze out a response. I can tell that there's a commotion on the other side of the speaker. It seems that you managed to successfully restore communication, or at least.
これから大至急救難隊を向かわせる。エリア4のプールは使用可能か。
We are dispatching a rescue team ASAP. Is the pool in Area 4 usable? Yeah, it should be fine. I recall checking the condition of the pool with Tsugumi.
要救助者の場所と数はわかるか。
Do you know the location and number of the people needing rescue? There are 5 of us, no 6 in the same room. I include the researcher who died in the chamber.
6名だな。了解した。
Understood, there are 6 of you.
民間サルベージ業者の用意した潜水艇にこちらの救難隊員を同乗させる。到着次第指示に従って脱出してくれ。
We are borrowing a private company salvaging submarine for our rescue team to use. Follow their instructions and evacuate as soon as they arrive. When will that be?
できるだけ急がせるが約1時間後になる。
We'll try to be as fast as possible, but approximately 1 hour. 1 hour? Coco should be able to leave the chamber by then. I hope we will all be safe for an hour.
だが万一の際には
But in case of an emergency,
研究所内に残されている深海探査用の潜水艇があるはずだ。すまないがそちらを使って自力で脱出をしてほしい。
there should be a deep-sea exploration submarine left in the research facility. I'm sorry, but we'll need you to use that to escape on your own if necessary. Well, what do you mean by in case of an emergency?
レミューのメインシャフトの耐久力はすでに限界を超えている。
The durability of Lemu's main shaft has already exceeded its limit.
一部分でも崩壊するようなことにでもなればどこかのエリアが崩落し君たちのいる場所が巻き添えになる危険が高い。
If even a part of it collapses, there's a high risk that other areas will collapse, putting your location in danger.
いずれにしろ重量のあるメインシャフトの一部が落下し建物の上部にぶつかることはほぼ確実だろう。
In any case, it's almost certain that a heavy part of the main shaft will fall and collide with the top of the building you're in. I see.
必ず救助に向かう。不安なことを言ってしまったが我々を信じて待っていてくれ。
We'll definitely send a rescue team. I'm sorry for causing you alarm, but please trust us and hold on.
もちろん最悪の事態にならないよう我々も救助のために最善を尽くす。
We'll do our absolute best to prevent the worst case scenario. Click. Suddenly the communication is cut off. Oh, hey, wait. I repeatedly pressed the communication key on the panel, but there's no response. Damn it, I can't open the line from this end. Can't be helped, I guess. I flipped through the manual next to the terminal. A deep-sea exploration submarine. We couldn't find it during our search. There it is. I work at the control panel as instructed and call up the information on the monitor. It's quite small. It looks like a toy. One submarine is moored in the pool of the closed IBF Area 3. Okay, so I don't have to wait for it. That's interesting. Yeah, most of this has been extremely similar to the Tsugumi Ending in the original game. This is the first thing that's quite different. What's been different so far? Well, notably, in the original, Takeshi pushes Tsugumi onto the bed, right? Because he's trying to, he wants to extract her, antibodies for Tiefblau. And she just says, like, okay, fine, do what you want. I can't stop you. They probably cut that out for game rating reasons. Because it has a certain flavor to it, right? And then, I think in the original, Tsugumi might have said, when she went to go get Chami, that she was going to get her only friend. I don't see that here. As if she was basically rejecting everybody else besides Chami as her friend. Probably like in response to what just happened there. They don't have that exclusivity in this. Anyway. But yeah, this is different. The submarine's already there. So, for some reason, even though we didn't see it there earlier, for some reason. One submarine is moored in the pool of the closed IBF Area 3. It's a new trolley buoyant submarine used for saturation diving. It seems we can remotely summon it to this pool, except it's there. Well, I guess that's like I guess this is like an image on the monitor of a different pool, so this isn't different. I don't know. If things get dicey, we're supposed to use that, huh? Notice it is much more like yellowy in this graphic as opposed to more tan in the original. You gotta really embrace the yellow submarine thing. If things get dicey, we're supposed to use that, huh? We all die in a yellow submarine. I set up the remote control program to move the submarine immediately. That should do it. Okay, so yeah, well, okay, so it was in a different pool. Okay. It didn't suddenly show up in the pool, it was just a different pool. Now, I have to go bring Tsugumi back. Boom. Suddenly I hear a low metallic sound. It came from above. There's electronic sound from the terminal, and the screen changes. Flooding incident to Lemieux. Lemieux's flooding. Yeah, you could accidentally, like, make it harder for Tsugumi to come back down, because if you try to go up when she's trying to come back down, she's going to be waiting 34 minutes for you to decompress in the elevator. Meanwhile, if she just wanted to go down, she could just call the elevator up at whatever maximum rate it could go up at and get in it. So you could, like, mess her up by trying to help her here. But Lemieux is flooding. This is bad. Tsugumi's in danger. I rush into the corridor. The floor is starting to vibrate, though only slightly. I feel dizzy again. I stumble, bumping into the wall. My stamina hasn't fully recovered. I don't even know if the antibodies are really effective or if there's any side effects. Yeah, there's a side effect, alright. I have no idea at all. But I've got to go. It gives you anime protag stuff is what it does. That's the side effect. I must go. I muster my strength and reach the elevator. The elevator isn't there, probably because Tsugumi had used it. But because it's unmanned, the elevator arrives soon. As soon as the door opens, I jump in. Yeah, but Tsugumi can be like running for it at that moment, though. The elevator carrying me starts to ascend.
Tiefe 90 Meter.
Depth 90 meters in German, not Japanese. I'm feeling anxious. The elevator's ascent is just so slow. It's like it's not moving at all. Then I remember Sori telling us it would take 34 minutes due to air decompression. 34 minutes going up, 17 minutes going down. That's a total of 51 minutes. We only have an hour until rescue arrives. Considering the time to search for Tsugumi, there's hardly any time left, right? It's only 9 minutes. Damn it, I need more time. I glare irritably at the control panel. I notice the control panel has been forcibly opened. There's a switch labeled safety device. I guess Tsugumi just didn't care to decompress. Tsugumi must have pried it open and used it. It seems that this was the switch inside. You can change the elevator's ascent speed. Yeah, for some reason, Cure makes it so that, like, you don't get the bends. I don't understand how that works, but I don't understand anything about how Cure works. It doesn't make any sense, so, you know, whatever. Like, might as well. I don't hesitate to deactivate the safety device and increase the speed of ascent. I immediately feel G-forces pressing down on me.
Tiefe 80 Meter. Tiefe 70 Meter.
The elevator accelerates and continues to ascend. This is like a tutorial in counting in tens in German. And when it reaches Himmel, I steady myself and pull the lever of the emergency escape door. Bang. There's a terrible noise as if all air around me had exploded. My body is blown out of the elevator along with high-pressure gas that accumulated inside. Yeah, but they changed it so that Lemieux doesn't decompress in this, so he doesn't decompress from 12.5 atmospheres to 1 atmosphere. He decompresses from 12.5 atmospheres to 6 atmospheres, which is still horrible, but less ridiculous. And it probably already would have decompressed a little bit from 12.5 by then, right? Like, so maybe like 12, 11. Ooh. Intense pain surges through my entire body. I flail my limbs, thrashing about like a madman. Even when I exhale, air wells up from my lungs. Gah. Continuous exhaling. I fall over backwards and vomit up everything in my stomach. My limbs begin to convulse. We have to go back past this vomit when we go back down. Numbness, aching, headache. Intense palpitations assault me. My mind goes blank and my consciousness feels like it's being sucked away. God damn it. Proceed to pass out for as long as it would have taken to decompress at the normal pace. And it's not actually saving time, or make it worse. Am I going to die here? I yell out towards the ceiling as I try to suppress the intense pain and keep myself from blacking out.
倉成さん
Kuranari-san?
倉成さん大丈夫ですか
Kuranari-san, are you okay? Sora appears and peers at me with concern. Hi, Sora, a long time, eh?
倉成さん無茶です
Kuranari-san, you're acting quite reckless.
急激な減圧に伴って血液中の窒素が気化し血栓を作り最悪の場合
Rapid decompression can cause nitrogen in the blood to vaporize, forming clots, and in the worst case... Ew, it does seem I'm still alive. And then I stagger to my feet.
倉成さんどうして
Kuranari-san, what?
何やってるんですかこんなところで
What are you doing here? This is what Sora says in the Sora ending of the original game, actually. In fact, I forget if in the Tsugumi ending, Takeshi even encounters Sora at all when he goes back up to IBF. Oddly. What does it look like? I came back.
一人でですかそれで他の皆さんはココちゃんは無事なんですか
Hold on a minute. Okay. An important thing came up on my phone. I gotta put my phone on silent because that important thing that came up on my phone is gonna cause it to go off crazy. But it turns out I don't have to do anything about it, which is good. Well, I'll pause anyway because I gotta move some clothes around. No, I won't. Never mind. I'll keep going. Oops, that would have been a mistake in this context. Okay. Alone? What about the others? Is Coco-chan okay? Yeah, everyone's fine.
よかった本当によかった
Oh, thank goodness. I'm so relieved. So all that's left is to rescue Tsugumi. Where is she?
先ほどメインシャフトの一部が崩壊したことにより施設に浸水が発生しましたその影響で小松さんは救護室に閉じ込められて
Tsugumi-san is trapped in the infirmary. Due to an earlier collapse of part of the main shaft, the facility has experienced some flooding. Is the door working?
電子ロックは解除されていますですが
The electronic lock has been released, however. It won't open due to the water pressure?
ええ
So, the same as, the original game. Okay, so he does probably encounter Sora in the original game. So Sora can tell him this, probably. I just forgot.
緊急用の非常口はあるのですがあのブロックの配線も破壊されてしまったようで連絡が取れないんです
There is an emergency exit, but it seems that the wiring to that block has been destroyed, so we can't establish a connection. I leave him and I'll head to the infirmary. I check the screen on my phone. A map of Lemu and Tsugumi's biosign are displayed. I installed a data link program between my phone and Lemu's sensors from the control of console in Himmel earlier. Sora had prepared the program for me. Don't try to stop me. I'm going no matter what you say.
わかりましたこういう時の倉成さんは止めることができないって知っています
I understand.
今私がすることするべきことは
I understand. I know that you can't be stopped in situations like this, Takeshi-san. What I need to do now...
ここに留まってレミューの状態を監視しながら随時情報を携帯に転送します
What I need to do is stay here and monitor Lemu's condition. I'll send information to your phone as needed. Now, what's interesting is I noticed is they didn't delete the whole idea of explosive decompression. What they did is they decided to confirm that Tsugumi explosively decompressed. Then they decided to make it so that decompression doesn't happen once the elevator docks at him out, it happens continuously during its ascent. And then they made it so that only Tsugumi would figure out how to bypass it. So only in Tsugumi's round, when Tsugumi goes up first, is Takeshi able to do it. But he can still survive it if he does it. But why would you do that, though? Why would you make it that way? If you're going to have that happen, why don't it happen in the Sora route? For plot reasons, to make it so it doesn't have time to go back down? Whatever. What I need to do is stay here and monitor Lemu's condition. I'll send information to your phone as needed.
核壁をコントロールして崩落を食い止め、1秒でも長くレミューが沈まないよう努力します。ですから、
I'll control the bulkheads to stop the collapse and do my best to prevent Lemu from sinking for as long as possible. So,
小町さんと一緒に必ずここへ戻ってくるって約束してください。
promise me that you'll come back here with Tsugumi-san. Yeah, I promise. As I run through the corridors, I look at my phone again. Tsugumi's bio sign hasn't moved from the infirmary. The map has also indicated that the surrounding corridors that are usually used are now impassable. In that case, I already know what to do. I remember the emergency exit that Sora had mentioned. There is an emergency exit below the infirmary. I leap into the emergency passage and leading to the lower part of the infirmary. Electricity to the emergency corridor seems to have been severed as the lights are out. Relying on the faint glow of the phosphorescent paint, I rush forward in the dark. After a while, I see a ladder leading upwards. I check my phone to confirm where I am. It's right above me. Okay, he doesn't have to swim in this. I climb the ladder. I push forward in the dark. I won't be swallowed by this darkness anymore. Instead of running away from my fears, I embrace that darkness, making it my own. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of anything. Clang. I crawl out the emergency exit hole in the floor of the room. Tsugumi. Gotta sneeze. My sneeze sounds normal, but you've heard a lot of them so far. So he doesn't have to swim for it. Okay, and he originally had to swim for it in this part. He actually had to go through the corridor that was blocked by water pressure. She's crouched in the corner of the room, hugging her knees. Chammy, with her gray fur slightly damp, lies at her feet. And as such, she made it kind of silly, because if they made it so that what you had to swim through was the only way in, it may make it so that you could justify Tsugumi couldn't get out. But when you have it so that that she could get out through emergency corridor entrance in the floor, you'd have to say that Tsugumi didn't know about that entrance or didn't notice it. Both, actually, which is weird. Now, it raises the question in the original game, how did Takeshi open the door, but Tsugumi not able to open the door out when the corridor being flooded made it so the door couldn't open? I don't know. It doesn't answer that. She stares at me with wide eyes. She's truly dumbfounded. The hero gallantly appears as the heroine's in big trouble, right? Well, he's quoting Coco from an instance where he talked with Coco privately, but maybe Coco said this to Tsugumi at some other time. Though maybe I'm a bit late. I scratch my nose.
Baka! Nani shi ni kita no yo?
You idiot, what are you doing here?
Shinu tsumori nano?
Do you want to die? Tears streamed down her cheeks one after another. Hey now, I chuckle. I just came to get something I forgot. Something you forgot? Holding Chammy in her hand, Tsugumi slowly stands. Yeah, I left it here. It's truly irreplaceable to me. A precious companion of mine. How? How'd you get here? From over there. I point to the emergency exit on the floor, and Tsugumi just being like, face palm. Our bet isn't over yet, right? Really, I refuse to die in a place like this. So you're gonna die in a place like, well, we'll get there. And besides, I haven't had my fill of your insults yet. I want to keep hearing what you have to say to me forever. Forever. You just proposed. Uh-huh. So, I came to get you, Tsugumi.
バカよあなた
You're just so stupid. You're stupid. You didn't notice the escape route. Despite her words, Tsugumi throws herself at me. And without a word, we hold each other. I gently wipe away the tears running down her cheeks with my lips. As we hold each other tightly in the middle of the infirmary, only Chami's sniffing can be heard as she looks on from the palm of Tsugumi's hand. So let's go together. Okay. Tsugumi gently carries Chami, who's burrowed into her shirt. We descended the ladder calmly but swiftly. There's no more time to spare. The collapse will happen sooner than later. We have to hurry. We know that. But there's no need to rush. We'll make it. It's not hopeless. It's not too late. We're gonna be fine, absolutely. Holding Tsugumi's hand, we race through the darkness.
倉成さん小松さん
Kurinari-san and Komachi-san. Sora uses a last name for Tsugumi as well.
本当に無事でよかったですが申し訳ありませんメンテナンスルームが浸水してしまいました
I'm so glad that you're both safe, but I must apologize. The maintenance room has flooded. It's okay, we managed to establish communication with the Coast Guard and IBF a while ago. Rescue is on its way here.
本当ですかよかった
Really? Oh, thank goodness. But it's coming to IBF specifically, so we need to get down there. Sora looked genuinely relieved. So thank you for everything you've done.
いいえそれが私の仕事ですから
No need to thank me, it's my job. Forget about it being your job. Let me thank you as a friend. Thank you so much, Sora.
わかりましたですがこれ以上干渉に浸っている時間はありません急いでください
I understand, but there's no time to be sentimental. We need to hurry and not make out in the infirmary when we could have... Got it. Meanwhile, the Coast Guard's coming and you missed the ride. Although, Tsugumi probably would have been like, I don't want the Coast Guard to meet me, right? I might be, like, wanted. They might have, might know who I am. Not as necessarily a curate carrier, but as a criminal. And it wouldn't have been the best thing if I did make it to when the Coast Guard was showing up. Now, in this case, you couldn't say that she went to go get Chami because she was fleeing the Coast Guard, because the Coast Guard didn't make contact until after she left. In this ending. In the Sora ending of this same remake, she does overhear the Coast Guard's coming, and she does escape in the sub as opposed to with the Coast Guard, which suggests that she was actually fleeing the Coast Guard in that context. So Tsugumi and I step into the elevator. The door is closed.
それでは皆さんさようなら
Well then, goodbye everyone. Saying that, Sora waves her hand. Sora, even in situations like this, it's not goodbye, it's see you later. And then, parting with friends, we always say, see you later.
わかりましたそれでは倉成さん小松さんまたお会いしましょう
Understand. Well then, Takeshi-san and Tsugumi-san, see you later. Saying that, Sora smiles and waves. Now, in this situation, Takeshi already summoned the research sub, right? It wasn't like the original game where they don't do it until they get down there. So they don't have to wait for the sub to get to the pool, correct? So they don't have like this big layover? Maybe? Yeah, see you later. We gotta get that CG in here somewhere, though. Mist envelops the space behind Sora. Hold on, something important may be really coming up here. Never mind, we're good. Okay. Well, why does that matter? It's like, it's the splice. Who cares how much you can get? It's how much ties in the splice gap. It was a second, though, if you're wondering. Eventually, the mist turns into a rainbow. That rainbow, disappears. Sora fades away, believing that we'll meet again. The elevator carrying Tsugumi and I descends. We head to the medical room where everyone else is.
静かね。
It's quiet. Yeah, it is. The flooding should be progressing minute by minute above us. The collapse might have started. Oh no.
どうしたの？
What's wrong? The time, it's past the scheduled time.
予定？
Scheduled time? Actually, a rescue team was supposed to be coming here.
救助？
A rescue team? The Japan Coast Guard. I think it was a special rescue team or something like that. You managed to you, the person, managed to open a communication line, and I was able to contact Inseal Null. Oh my.
いない。みんないなくなってる。
Well, Coco's in the hallway, and this is actually weird. So he said 5, no 6 people, right? So, you, Takeshi, the kid, he would have included Tsugumi in that count. You, Takeshi, the kid, Tsugumi, and Coco, right? Then he added 6 to include the researcher. Maybe they thought the 6th was the robot dog or something. They thought it was Pee-Pee. Because in the original game, I think what happened is they didn't rescue Coco out of here because they thought that the researcher was like one of the people counted. And so they didn't oh, we're missing someone and go look for Coco, and Coco was out in the hallway somewhere. But if Takeshi specifically counted the researcher, how are they going to explain it? I don't know. Anyway, the reason why it reminded me, because like Tsugumi says no one's here, right? They're all gone. And in fact, there is someone here. Just she's out in a random place in the hallway. You don't know she's here. That being Coco. No one's here. They're all gone. Tsugumi scans the medical room. And she checks each hyperbaric chamber, one by one. I walk around the room too. Coco's chamber is empty. The manual for the control panel is still open. Used syringes and vials are scattered on the floor. Even if you took a basic bio lab, you would know that you put the sharps in a sharps. Come on. It's true. You, the boy, Coco, and the researcher, they're gone.
どこへ行ったの？
Where'd they go? Tsugumi's voice is tinged with tension. Well, wait, they were probably already rescued. They just sent a call rings out from the terminal. I press the communication key on the panel. Tsugumi comes to my side, peering into the screen together with me.
こちらインゼルヌル応答願います。
This is Incel Null, please respond. This is ABF Area 4 Medical Room, go ahead.
よかった。そこにいてくれたか。
Thank goodness I'm glad you're there.
先ほど到着した隊員から連絡が入った時に声の主を発見できなかったようなので心配していた。
Earlier we received a call from the rescue team. They were unable to locate the previous speaker, so we were concerned. Sorry, I was away for a bit.
診療室に残っていた要救助者はすでに回収した。現在潜水艇内にて応急処置中だ。
The individuals who were present in the medical room have already been retrieved. They are currently receiving emergency treatment inside the submarine. Are they all safe?
報告を受けた限りでは何とも言えない。ただ相当に重症なことは確かなようだ。
Based on the report we received, they were all severely injured and their current status is unknown. Well, one of them we would have known is dead. They would have known.
崩壊の危険もあるので潜水艇は救助者を海上の病院へと搬送するために一時帰還の指示を出した。
Due to the risk of collapse, we have instructed the submarine to transport the rescued individuals to a hospital on the surface. Understood, I'm counting on you.
まだそちらに残っているものは
How many are still in need of rescue? There are 2 of us.
了解した。救助者の搬送が完了次第再度そちらへ向かう。
Understood. Once we finish transporting the rescued individuals, we'll head back your way.
だが先ほども言ったように建物の崩壊が始まった場合潜水艇が EBF に接近できない可能性があるが
However, as mentioned earlier, if the building collapses, there's a possibility that the submarine won't be able to approach IBF. Well, yeah, but then also, like, how would the research sub get away? I mean, we have to survey the submarine. We have a survey submarine secured. We can call it remotely if needed.
そうか。手間をかけさせてしまってすまない。
Okay, sorry for the delay.
こちらも最善を尽くす。どうか諦めず待ってくれ。
We'll do our best to get back to you as quickly as possible. Please stay strong and wait for us. Okay, so this is where they get the wait from. They don't have to necessarily wait for the submarine to dock, the research sub to dock. They're waiting for the Coast Guard to come back, right? And eventually Coast Guard will say, "No, we can't come back." But then they'll like spend time waiting for that as the battery drains. Roger. Click. The transmission ends.
どういうこと？
What's going on? Weren't you listening? So basically, the rescue team realized that if everyone were to die while they were waiting for us, it would be all for nothing. So they prioritized taking you, the boy, and Coco, who are severely injured, to the hospital first.
そうよね。
That makes sense. I like that. A sense of relief gradually washes over Tsugumi's face. Well then, I'm gonna take a nap until the next bus arrives.
バス？
Bus? If the bus is late, just call a taxi.
タクシー？
Get it because it's yellow. Taxi?
何言ってるのよ。
What are you talking about? If you press the button over there, a mini submarine, our personal taxi, should come from another section of IBF remotely. Okay, so it hasn't moved from that section yet. It's just prepped somehow? Okay. Yeah, I would have thought that Takeshi would have taken care of that, but apparently he has not. Well, anyway, I'm really glad that everyone is safe. The threads of determination and perseverance which were holding my consciousness together suddenly snap. I'm just so glad. Take! I feel my legs are losing their strength. Before I hit the hard floor, before I can register any sort of pain, I'm gently embraced by Tsugumi and I fall into a deep slumber. It's so soft. I feel a warm presence, a light. It feels like I've come a long way. Along a distant winding path. The end of darkness. The end of dreams. It's just soft. I just exist inside the beautiful light. My eyes open within this light. Even more light pours in. Okay, day 7. I see light in front of me. Along with Tsugumi's gentle smile. I open my eyes to find myself lying in bed. Let's be in this thing. Backspace. Yeah, okay. Tsugumi is squatting at the edge of the bed, simply gazing at me.
おはよう。
Good morning. Tsugumi's voice sounds distantly close at the same time. Fragmented memories in my mind began to connect, and suddenly I fully awakened. What time is it? I reach for my pocket and take out my phone. It's dead. I press the button, but the screen remains blank.
端末の時計、見て確かめてこようか。
Shall I check the clock on the terminal? No, can you just stay there, Tsugumi?
わかったわ。
Okay. I just gaze at her. Tears well up in Tsugumi's eyes.
気分はどう？
How are you feeling? How am I feeling? I take a deep breath. I exhale. I feel surprisingly good. Yeah, I feel really good. Somehow, someone might have injected me with opiates. What'd you do, Tsugumi?
そう。よかった。
Good, I'm glad. Tsugumi smiles through her tears. I reach out to her, and our hands gently intertwine. Despite my good mood, my body feels heavy, and I struggle to move as I'd like to. Eventually I manage to sit up in bed and survey the room. There's no one else. There's no sign of anyone. It's just the two of us.
ここたちみんな助かったかしら。
Interesting how they cut out that one bit. Okay. Again, probably the game rating thing. Like, the original game was rated teen, right? They're trying to, like, avoid that rating, I guess. I wonder if Coco and the others are safe. They cut out the part where, like, Tsugumi unbuttons her shirt to get Jamie out of it, and then she's like, oh, well, where are you looking? Would you like me to do that again? Would you like me to unbutton it? Anyway. Yeah, we're doing fine, I'm sure. They're doing fine, I'm sure. We're the only ones left, but I'm sure we'll be okay. Silence falls over us once more. Except for Coco. It's quiet. Everything is eerily still. A faint noise catches my attention. I turn to where the sound's coming from and see the communication panel. Oh yeah, what about communications?
あれからさっぱり通じないわ。
There has been no further contact. Tsugumi might be lying about this. What about the bus, the rescue team?
まだよ。バスはずいぶん遅れているみたいね。
Well, the bus isn't here yet. It's pretty late. Then what about the taxi, the mini sub?
そっちはもう呼んだわ。
I've already called for it. Right. Yeah, Tsugumi might be lying, because Tsugumi does not want to go with the Coast Guard. Tsugumi turns toward the terminal monitor, and of course might indirectly kill somebody. We'll get to that part. The monitor indicates the remote control instructions had gotten through successfully. Autopilot is operating in energy-saving mode. Okay, well, it was trying. 51 minutes remaining. Is this countdown until the submarine arrives? It seems like the submarine is on its way here, no problems. Well, it seems like we've done all we can.
人事は尽くしたし、あとは天命を待つしかないわね。
We've done everything we can. Now all we can do is wait for fate to decide. So I guess we could just relax until our taxi arrives. There's no point in panicking. It won't change anything.
そうね。
You're right. I collapse onto the bed. Although I want to panic, I'm just too exhausted. I feel like I'm running on empty. Come to think of it, I don't remember the last time I ate. I suddenly realized something and lean closer to Tsugumi.
何よ。
Okay, so maybe they do leave this part in. They just kind of like chop it up a bit. Although, the pose doesn't make sense now because apparently they were standing up. The pose is supposed to be like he's like lying on the bed and she's like looming over him. What is it? I lean so close to Tsugumi's face that we almost touch.
何よ。
What is it? Her cheeks, still slightly red from crying, turn even redder. I'm really hungry. I say this as I pull my face back from hers. I have this uncontrollable urge to eat something.
そう。
That's so. Oh, and by the way, Tsugumi. What? Tsugumi's blushing a little. I smell something good coming off you.
Huh?
What? She looks troubled, almost angry, and her eyes narrow. Do you perhaps have something hidden? Some food? I gently reach my hand toward Tsugumi's chest.
ダメよ。
Okay, so they don't cut this part out. They actually make it worse. Okay. She panics, hastily covering her chest with her hand.
あなたまさかチャミを食べる気？
Are you really gonna eat Chammy?
それだけはダメ。絶対ダメ。
That's absolutely forbidden. You cannot eat Chammy. He'll reconstitute in your stomach. And then crawl up your esophagus. Or crawl out the other end. I would do something like that. Baka, probably.
バカって言わないでよ。バカ。
Don't call me a baka. Her expression returns to normal. Then she slightly unbuttons her shirt and takes Chammy out.
ずーっとこんなとこに押し込めててごめんね、チャミ。
I'm sorry for keeping you cramped in there for so long, Chammy.
ほら、ちょっと遊んでおいで。
Go on, go play for a bit. Chammy, perched by Tsugumi's hand, sniffs around, hops off, then scurries to a corner of the room. I quietly watch. Oh. She says that she buttons up her shirt.
見たでしょ。
You saw that, right? Saw what?
何って、その、
Well, you know. Saw what?
いいよもう。バカ。
That's fine, baka. Yo, baka. Rumble. A low vibration resonates through the floor. The bed shakes slightly. Oh, so apparently he's still on a bed? When did he get back on it? I thought he got off the bed. Did they just... What? It's okay. She glances at the ceiling once, then quickly looks back at me.
安心して。
Don't worry.
まだ大丈夫だと思う。
I still think we're okay.
きっと大丈夫よ。
No, I'm sure we'll be okay.
根拠は何もないけどね。
Even though there's no basis for that.
なんだかまるであなたみたいなこと言ってる。
Somehow I feel like I'm talking just like you.
どうかしてるわね。私。
I must be out of my mind. Tsugumi tilts her head lightly, her long hair sways. A pleasant scent lingers in the air. Ah! I sit up abruptly, and I firmly grasp Tsugumi's hand.
何いきなり。
What is it? I got it.
何が。
Got what? My hand? Oh, that's how it is.
だから何なのよ。
What are you talking about? Bewildered, the blushing Tsugumi can't stop stammering. Now you just listen to me. I pull her hand closer. Tsugumi's face approaches mine. She tenses up. I'm listening. What smells so good is actually you, Tsugumi. What? What? You're what smells so good, Tsugumi. Oh, they made a new variation on this. I pull Tsugumi closer. I bury my nose in her hair and take a deep breath. Oh, you smell so good.
まったく。あなたって人は。
Seriously, you are so weird. Tsugumi sighs with exasperation. Then her hand trails down my back.
ほんと。バカね。
You're just so stupid. Yeah, I am stupid.
相当のバカね。大バカね。
The biggest baka ever. Tsugumi giggles. Tsugumi moves away from me ever so slightly. Her face is right in front of mine. She gazes at me and then quietly closes her eyes. Following her lead, I slowly close my eyes too. Our faces quietly get closer. And we merge. Become one. And... fade to white, blink to black.
ね
Hey,
え、起きて。
wake up. In the distance I hear Tsugumi's voice.
ねえ、起きてよ。
Wake up, come on.
タクシーが着いたわ。
The taxi's here. The taxi. That's right, the taxi. I jump up from the bed. The taxi's here.
そう、着いたのよ。
Yes, it's here.
それで、体の方は大丈夫なの？
How are you feeling? I move my shoulders and arms around. Everything seems fine. Straightening out my disheveled clothes, I take a deep breath. My thoughts are clear, functioning well. Yeah, I'm fine. Let's get going. I stand up from the bed. No dizziness. All right. Looks like I'm doing just fine.
そのようね。じゃあ、ちょっと待ってね。
Looks like it. Then hold on a moment. Sumi looks relieved as she checks on me.
チャミチャミおいで。
Chabby. Chabby, come here.
ほら、そろそろ行くよ。
Come on, it's time to go. Chabby, appearing out of nowhere, makes a mad dash for Tsugumi. Tsugumi scoops up the hamster and tucks her back into her shirt.
こっちもいいわよ。
I'm ready. Then let's go. Leaving the medical room behind, we hurry to the taxi dock.
あれ
Huh? Tsugumi suddenly notices something. What's up, Tsugumi?
あそこ
Over there. Tsugumi points ahead of us. Huh? Over there? Oh no, is this Coco related? I follow Tsugumi's gaze. I see a white lump resembling a ball. Upon closer inspection, pee-pee? Pee-pee?
ピピだわ。
It's Pee-Pee. Hey, why is Pee-Pee here? So they
き
did
っとみ
not...
んなとはぐれて、それで救助隊に気づかれず置いていかれたんだわ。
Well, okay, so they didn't rescue Pee-Pee instead of Coco, but I guess what they're trying to get here is there's like a hint that Coco's still here because Pee-Pee's still here. Probably got separated from everyone and ended up here without the rescue team noticing. Hey, Pee-Pee, you okay? Does he have a disc in his mouth? Pee-Pee doesn't respond. Seems like the pup is asleep. Pee-Pee must have wandered around the facility exhausted from searching for everyone and finally fell asleep. Okay, so Pee-Pee's... I think in the original, Pee-Pee's under the bed holding a disc, right? But this is not that too much different. Not too much different, right? They have to find Pee-Pee in order for this to work. Suddenly, the whole room shakes as if it were violently pushed.
5 Minuten vor der Implosion.
Hey, what's that announcement just now? I picked up Pee-Pee and looked up at the ceiling.
ファイナルカウントダウン。ゲームセット5分前の合図ね。
It's almost over. It's a signal of the facility's gonna collapse in 5 minutes. 5 minutes? Oh man. Why wait until just 5 minutes prior to make the announcement? They should have given us more advance notice. Anyway, you've got a little time left. 5 minutes. We have to hurry.
だけど、5分もあるわ。大丈夫なんでしょ？
But 5 minutes is still enough, right? Smiling, Tsugumi offers me her hand. You bet it is. Take a firm hold of it.
4 Minuten vor der Implosion.
The rumbling and shaking of the entire IBF continues. The collapse seemed to have already begun above us. The ominous metallic sound overhead suggests that the ceiling could collapse at any moment. Amidst the sound, we keep on moving. After letting go of each other's hands, the water's surface ripples from the vibrations. Below the surface of the pool, we can see our mini submarine swaying gently. Oh, thank goodness. Our taxi's waiting for us, isn't it?
当然でしょ。
Of course. Tsugumi sounds composed.
タクシーなんだから。
It's our taxi and all.
勝手にお客をすっぽかしたりしないのよ。
It wouldn't ditch its passengers without warning. Yeah, for sure. Oh no.
どうしたの？
What's wrong? I don't have any change with me.
バカね。
Baka.
つけにしておきなさいよ、そのくらい。
Just put it on the tab. It's no big deal. Oh yeah, that's right. I'll put it on Lieblic's tab.
もちろんよ。
You'd better.
3 Minuten vor der Implosion.
There can't be more than 2 to 3 minutes left. We climb onto the submarine and open the hatch on the top.
3 Minuten vor der Implosion.
Then we jump inside. I slide into the pilot's seat and survey the console. The layout is slightly different, but it's almost the same as the Kazumishir Val. This should work. I have the piloting technique ingrained in my head.
こっちは OK よ。
Ready when you are. Tsugumi closes the hatch. I'm good too. Here we go then. Having completed the startup procedure, I manipulate the control stick and slowly increase the throttle. The submarine slips through the pool and out into the depths of the sea, and then the ocean currents sweep us away. We're pulled away from the sinking Lamu. That's right. Undersea Lamu. The paradise. The place where we spent 7 days is slowly sinking. Silently sinking into the dark depths of the sea. And then, blending into the dim blue darkness, it disappears. Small bubbles emerge, floating upwards. Our small taxi continues to quietly rise, aiming for the radiant sun. Coco, you, and the boy are safe. We've got backups of Sora, too. From where? Why? It didn't specify. I guess he's saying that according to, like, Yu's testimony or whatever. That may have been wrong. Also, Yu, Tsugumi, me, Pee-Pee, and Shammy were all safe. Looks like we've won the bet. What do you think, Tsugumi? There was hope, wasn't there?
そうね。私の負けだわ。
I lose, huh? Not so fast. Not so fast, Takeshi.
世の中は絶望ばかりじゃない。希望もあったのね。
Tsugumi never loses. The world just isn't just despair. There was hope. Tsugumi admits defeat, but she seems happy. Yes, no matter how difficult or hopeless the situation is, you have hope in your heart. You can fight. You can stand up against fate. You can't let hope go.
そうみたいね。
I guess I won't. Tsugumi puts her hand on my shoulder. So, Tsugumi, from now on, no matter what happens, don't let go of hope. I cover her hand on my shoulder with my own.
わかったわ。希望は手放さない。絶対に。
Understood. I won't let go of hope ever again. Tsugumi puts her other hand on top of mine. Silence falls over us, just like this quiet blue sea. Within this silence, we feel each other's warmth. Wah, wah, wah.
今の音、何？
What was that sound just now? Don't know. As if in response to my question, a sound echoes throughout the cramped cabin.
何の
What's
音？
that sound? No idea. Hey, what's the light on that screen over there? The monitor behind Tsugumi is
な
flashing.
んて書いてあるのかしら。
What does it say? Since you're closer, just turn around and look for yourself.
いやよ。
I don't want to.
見たくない。
I don't want to look at it.
嫌な感じがするから。
I have a bad feeling. Don't be so paranoid. I peer into the monitor myself. Let's see. Battery low is what it says. All of a sudden, the lights inside the submarine go out. All the monitors go black. The electronic instruments fall silent. Only the analog pressure gauges are functioning properly. Current depth, 63 meters. Which is 7 times 7, is it not? No, it's 9 times 7. I can't math. 7 times 7 is 49. What in the world? Okay. Yeah, 9 times 7. I don't know what... That's like not a 17 thing, really. It's a 7 thing. Internal pressure, 12.5 atmospheres.
どうしよう。
What are you gonna do? It's okay, we'll be fine. Don't make such a sad face. Depth, 64 meters. Without propulsion for ascent, the submarine begins to sink slowly. Remaining pressure 0. Ballast tank drainage failure. Well, this taxi's a piece of crap. It stalls out pretty quickly on country roads like this. That's gonna be a problem for the passengers. As I muttered in jest, I consider ways to get out of this predicament. We need upward force for the submarine to surface. With the propeller stopped, we can't use fins and the propulsion to ascend. The submarine is designed for saturation diving. It currently holds a higher pressure than the external water pressure, making it swell. We can use this to our advantage. Depth 65 meters. I spot another hatch on the floor towards the back of the submarine. The hatch has 2 layers, an external and outer hatch, and an internal one separating the air pocket and the interior cabin space, conveniently. If we open the external hatch, the difference in pressure could cause air to jet downward. Hey, do you think we can surface by opening the outer hatch and expelling air?
無理よ。
No way, because that makes you less buoyant.
まっすぐ浮上できるとは思えないし、勢いなんてたかが知れてるわ。
I doubt we'd ascend straight up, and there wouldn't be enough momentum.
だいたいバランスも考えないでそんなことをすれば、転覆浸水するのは目に見えてる。
Besides, if we do something like that without considering balance, the sub will definitely flood and capsize.
それに少しは浮上できても、抜けた空気分だけ早く沈んでいくだけよ。
Even if we manage to surface a little, we'll just sink right back down after.
余分な浅く空気だってないんだから。
We don't have any extra compressed air.
だいたい潜水艇を浮かべるための浮力が不足してるの。
Besides, we don't have enough buoyancy to make the sub float in the first place. Buoyancy.
バラストを捨てないと。
We need to get rid of the ballasts. The ballasts. Her words remind me of a similar situation we'd faced before.
本来ならバラストのバルブは電動制御される。
Normally, the ballast valves are electronically controlled.
だけど今は
By now, I glance at the depth gauge. Depth 66 meters. Let's just calm down for now. Considering how slow our descent is, we'll just need the hull to be a little lighter. Okay. 4 times 17 is 68, right? He's going to jump out at 68 meters, isn't he? Considering how slow our descent is, we just need the hull to be a little lighter. In terms of total weight, it's probably just a few tens of kilograms, right? Should we try pulling out some of the machinery around here and tossing it overboard?
簡単に引っこ抜けると思う？
You think it would be easy to pull the machinery out? Well, they're probably tightly welded in place, so it might be difficult barehanded. It doesn't seem like we have enough tools to have the tools we need.
やっぱり無理よ。
Guess it's impossible after all. Tsugumi bites her lip and looks down. Depth 67 meters.
ぬか喜びしちゃったわね。
Got a hell ahead of ourselves, didn't we?
結局
In the end, Tsugumi cuts herself off. Frustrated, her shoulders tremble and she gives a weak laugh.
バカみたい。
I'm so stupid.
私
I'm so
バカみたい。
I'm so stupid. Then Tsugumi lowers her head and breaks down in tears. Seeing Tsugumi like that, I make up my mind. Inside the EI elevator, I served as the ballast. So this time too, it's up to me. Huh? I hear Tsugumi gasp.
何やってるのよ。
What are you doing? What do you mean? You can't tell? I open the hatch in the floor and jump inside. Then I close the double hatch. Tsugumi tries to turn the handle of the hatch. Is this CG flipped? Or redrawn or something? I don't think so. It just looks different to me, though. Huh. But I've locked it from the inside. Hey, open this. Open it right now. Come on, open it. I just stare at Tsugumi crying on the other side of the hatch. Depth 68 meters. Takeshi, open it, I'm begging you. Depth 69 meters. Okay, so it wasn't going to be 68 meters. I guessed wrong. Hey, what are you going to do? Depth 70 meters. Depth 71 meters. Depth 72 meters. Depth 73 meters. Oops, time's running out. Hey, Tsugumi? Huh? Do you know about Archimedes' principle? Tsugumi? With her eyes wide as they can go, she looks at me through the glass. I squat down and reach for the external hatch directly below me. I'm sure that if I open this hatch, Tsugumi will be fine. The water won't come in due to the difference in pressure, and even if it does flood, the double hatch will protect Tsugumi. I slowly start to turn the handle. As I turn it, I look up at Tsugumi on the other side of the hatch. She's crying. Tears fall from her wide open eyes. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me alone anymore. It's okay, you're not alone anymore. And besides, I quickly open the bottom hatch. The dense air in the airlock is pushed out due to the difference in pressure. I'm pushed out with it. I can't hear Tsugumi's voice anymore. 74 meters. Her voice can't reach me underwater. Her figure flickers behind the glass. Her tears soak distorted face. Soon the image is refracted by the water. 75 meters. I grab onto the frame of the submarine to support myself. I firmly close the hatch from the outside. I can't see her anymore. I'm not capable of seeing her. How do you know how much, like, the water in the airlock would, like, compensate for your weight? Oh well. I guess Takeshi weighs significantly enough more than the water in the airlock. This still works. 76 meters. I let go of the submarine. I kick hard off of it. I launch myself away into the water, into the pitch black depths filled with dazzling shards of light. 77 meters. There aren't any options left. Well, that's the depth that he would be at, right? So it's 11 times 7. Game arc number sandwich. but I chose to do what I had believed was the best option. So I have no regrets. And I haven't given up yet. I start swimming upwards. When I went to search for Chammy, I remembered swimming about 51 meters. When I jumped out of the submarine, it was around 72 or 73 meters, I believe. Yeah, but it's 77 now. There's only a difference of about 20 meters. I'll manage somehow. I pushed through the cold water, trying to find where up is. Remember that even if you stay still, your lungs become buoyant and you'll float. It's fine, everything's fine. However, fearing that my lungs would burst due to the pressure difference, I exhaled while entering the water, so there's only a little air left in my lungs. Sorry, Tsugumi. I might lose the bet. But Tsugumi, please don't lose hope. Don't let go of the hope I've held on to. Ahead of me, I can see the surfacing submarines sparkling brightly, bathed in the light of the open sea. I reach out toward the shining light, so close yet so far. And this past week has already been a lot of fun. It was a week filled with hardships and pain, but it's the treasure of a lifetime. Their faces float before my eyes. Coco. Sora. You. The boy. Pee-Pee. Chammy. And Tsugumi. It was like a dream. Really, just so much fun. So much fun. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to mute this music. Well, I don't have to, but I will in post. It's kind of how it goes. Okay, so that was like much less changed. That was like the worst commentary I've ever done. But sorry about my bad commentary so much. That was really bad commentary. There was like a bunch of little subtle differences. It's like 1 to 2 oscillating there, 0 to 2 between that and the original Tsugumi Ending. But there's only a bunch of really subtle things. Like, that was generally very similar to the original, so they didn't really change that much. They found Pee-Pee in the hallway instead of under the bed. They had Takeshi just find a emergency hatch in the floor of the infirmary as opposed to swimming through a flooded passage to get there. And of course, in the original, they have to swim back through with Tsugumi to get back out. They confirm that Tsugumi explosively decompressed coming up to go for Chammy. That was implied in the original. Just had Takeshi himself do it, like, confirmed, but here they confirmed both did it. They chop up some of the dialogue when Tsugumi and Takeshi are waiting for the sub in IBF after they get back down there. They kind of rearranged it a little bit. Most of it's still there, just a little rearranged. They cut off that like "wanna see again" comment. Yeah, they had a new CG, but it's like really, it's like just like a bunch of like little things, right? Generally very similar, so that's pretty faithful. Whereas, as we noticed, Sora ending is quite a bit different. And Tsugumi, the ending, despite not Tsugumi, the U route, the ending is like super different. The U route, on the like dialogue-wise, so far that I've seen, as the most similar dialogue to the U route, to the original route, like up until the ending of all the routes. But then the ending is completely different. That's the thing with U's route. It's like the same up until the end. It just like falls apart. But the after credit scene for the U's ending is like almost exactly the same as the original. So, kind of a mix-up. So not everything here is changed. We're gonna chalk up the Tsugumi Ending, just the end part of it, as very relatively unchanged compared to other parts of the game. I mean, it kind of makes sense if that's the case, because it's kind of like a crucial part of the game. A big one is Takeshi doesn't just kind of give up and sink to the bottom of the ocean floor and die there. He actually like tries to swim for the surface, and it's implied he fails. But they try to like give the reader just like a little bit of hope that he might succeed at the end there. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to make it so that like he doesn't get resurrected from the dead in the Coco route, so it's a little bit less weird that way, I guess. In the original game, he basically just dies, like on the seafloor, and then he just comes back to live. Rio's like, wait a second, I'm not dead. Wait, I'm not dead. Wait a second. Okay, the story is not over yet, because you are in the infinite loop. Even though this isn't really a loop. Okay, then we have like a second credits. Okay. Cool. Wait, what's the Steam achievement called? A Cruel Wandering. Okay, cool. So let's go to Extra, CG Gallery. Oh, I didn't check the old footage to see if the number of CGs has increased or decreased since the Xbox rendition. Interesting. I'll have to check that later. I'll have to eventually get to that. So, I don't know if there's a new version of this. One of those might be new, I don't know. This is new for Tsugumi. This is new for the Tsugumi route as well. By the way, this is also this is the Mage's Artists. This is not in the original game. Sort of like, you know, High School Sora is not in the original game. There might be a new variation of this in the Tsugumi route. Maybe of this. Probably not. This is new. This is Tsugumi. It's new for Tsugumi. The original sort of main CG, title CG for Tsugumi from the original game. They don't explain this cut on her finger in the text of the game here, but it's still in the CG. Yeah, so the original game, Tsugumi, it's like, you look delicious, and then he bites her finger. Right, I think. And sucks the blood out of it. Yeah, they still have that in the drawing, but then they don't have that in the text. Interesting. Oh, and there's a faded version. Then we have a new version. Sub, and then this. Okay. This here is from the bad ending. It's you with blood on her. So we need to have to do the bad ending to get all of the CGs. Okay. Yeah, it's funny that they have that. The thumbnail for that is with you in it, but even though we haven't had the you ending yet. Yeah. Okay. And then Tsugumi's ending is first. Cool. Okay. Nope, I don't want to close the game. We're not going to be able to get through all of this in this recording, but we're going to start doing sort of the bad ending, and when we do the bad ending, we're going to do sort of like odd choices that you wouldn't really have any other reason to make, just to get some new text. To catch this up with where my my Xbox gameplay was. Okay, so we're gonna do this guy. We're gonna try to mix kind of anti-Sora choices generally. Okay, yeah, let's do what's your deal?
お前こそ何なんだ。俺が何かしたってのか。
What's your deal? You're saying I did something?
したわ、さっき。
You just did earlier. I just did? Does she mean when I blocked away?
あなた何者なの？
Maybe when she kicked the kid. Who are you?
俺は見ての通りの大学生だが。
Me? I'm just a college student. Daigakse, as you can see. Spurred by the girl's piercing gaze, I eke out a response.
ここには仲間はいるの？
Did you come with any friends?
仲間？ああ、男友達が2人。
Or companions? Like partners, right? Friends? Yeah, I came with two guys.
それで、ここには何の目的で来たの？
And why'd you come here?
ゴールデンウィークに遊びに来たんだけど。
Well, we came here to hang out during Golden Week. I came here because one of these two guys, it wasn't me, was trying to ask some girl on a date here, and she didn't accept. But he already bought the tickets.
男3人だけで？
Just you three guys?
そうだけど。
That's right. No wonder you're single. Damn it, why can't three guys just have fun? Okay. Takeshi side. Okay, let's do this one. Damn it, where's the person in charge? I direct my anger towards the absent authority figure. I know blaming you won't help, but what's going on here? Can somebody just explain?
ちょっと。
Hey, you.
あなた。
Shut up, damn it.
黙りなさい！
Quiet! The girl glares at me, her expression stern.
いい加減に。黙ったらどうなの？
Can't you just be quiet for a second? I feel the pressure of her icy gaze and tone. Got it. gonna experiment how long it takes to skip through this entire game. It's long. I don't get it. Well, I don't just assume it's impossible from the start. Sometimes you don't know until you try. There might be a way out of there, right?
それは自殺行為です。
That would be suicide.
無茶無謀。
How reckless and absurd.
無知猛昧。
How ignorant.
ここ泳げないよ。
I can't swim.
泳ぐって
Swim, you say? It seems like swimming to our freedom is indeed impossible. But I won't give up. There must be another way. Absolutely. We don't need to play nice, but we can cooperate. We're like a fated community here or something. Let's all cooperate and get through this ordeal.
バカじゃない。
Aren't you baka?
運命共同体そんなの関係ないでしょ。
A fated community? That's just silly.
たまたま偶然ここに一緒にいるだけなんだから。
We're just here together by chance. Coincidence.
そうよ。みんな関係ない。
That's right, there's no meaning behind it. With that said, Tsugumi leaves the room. Huh? I have a weird feeling. Is an interface some kind of position? They seem to know a lot about the system. Like a systems engineer? Okay, we're gonna Tsugumi route target to get the bad end here. That's the easiest way I know to do it.
タケピョン
I don't know why that's different now. I guess they all think I'm stupid or something. Remember 11 levels of propagation. Okay, we're gonna do kind of like Tsugumi targeting here. Of propagation of changes. We gotta be positive, Tsugumi. We're gonna mess Tsugumi up later. Don't worry about it. Just try to avoid like good Sora route. That's what I'm trying to avoid. Let's try let her be. Well, there's nothing else to do until the generator room cools down. I'll just let her be. Tsugumi's footsteps fade away. Now I'm a bit tired, so I'll take a rest. I lean against the wall and sit down in the corridor. It's dark, so it looks like a good place to sleep. Whoa, what's that? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Could it be this is a rat phenomenon or something? No way, right? But it's probably the sound of metal plates expanding and contracting due to thermal expansion, right? That's gotta be it. It's Tsugumi trying doors, is what it is. Well, yeah, I guess I can't sleep like this. I quickly stand up and hurry in the direction Tsugumi had disappeared. She's a system? A system, even if that's true. I still can't quite understand. My head is hurting more and more.
そうなのよ。異様にセキュリティが高くって。
Yeah, secure. Oh. Why is that different? I don't think I know it. It's no use, I can't seem to remember. I probably don't know.
なんだ、みんな知らないの？
What, nobody knows?
まったく、しょうがないな。ブーブー。
That's just how it is. Boo boo. Well, if you don't know, you can learn it right now, right? Learn it now, right?
そうね。ここ、みんなに教えてくれない？
Yeah, Coco, why don't you teach everyone?
オッケー。それじゃあ、よーく聞いてね。
Okay, then, listen carefully, everyone. Oh, okay. Lots of okays there. What were you researching?
どうして？
Why do you ask?
別に何だっていいじゃない。あなたには関係ないんだから。
Who cares what I was doing? It's none of your business. Huh? Well, I guess it isn't. I guess I'm curious, or kind of worried. You're always going off by yourself, aren't you? So I was just wondering what you were doing, you know? That's all nice and simple.
私に構わないで。
Just leave me alone. As usual, conversations like these tend to lead nowhere. Let's do these wrong. Clockwise should be right. I turn the blue valve as hard as I can. The hissing sound grows louder. The blue one will turn counterclockwise. Counterclockwise should be right. I turn the red valve. The misty spray of water from the pipe intensifies.
そっちのパイプを押さえて。ぐらついてるみたい。
Hold that pipe over there. It seems to be wobbling. Tsugumi says this while continuing her welding. Got it. I reach a hand towards the pipe I had just closed the valve on. At that moment, Ack! A large amount of seawater gushes out from the crack in the pipe, aiming straight at me. So cold, so salty. I hurriedly try to plug the crack with my hand. But the force of the gushing seawater doesn't stop.
あなた何やってるの？
What are you doing? Tsugumi puts the burner down and starts closing the valve. The force of the water weakens and eventually stops. It seems I had closed the valve incorrectly.
ほんと使えないわね。
Geez, you're useless. Her cold, worn words show me even more than my cold and wet body. How embarrassing.
タケピョンびしょびしょ
Well, I like how it like actually makes like doing the valves correctly or incorrectly have an effect. Cause like in the original it doesn't like have an immediately effect on anything. It doesn't matter. But it affects the like as far as like the text is concerned. It affects how many Tsugumi points you get. So it affects getting into that route in the end, but it doesn't like affect the like immediately next occurring event. Takeshi, you're soaking wet.
たけしびっちょびちょだ。
Takeshi, you're drenched. Well, it's my fault, but can someone say something warm to me? No, you're an idiot. What's, don't go. Get that Sora bad, get bad for Sora there. And then mess up Tsugumi. Just like totally mess up that right there. Just kill it.
責任なんです。
It's my responsibility. No, it's mine.
私の責任です。
It's my fault. No, I should take responsibility.
違います。私の責任です。
No, the responsibility is mine. It isn't, it's my... Wait, what are we doing? Sorry, let's stop this. This is like Looney Tunes.
そうですね。不毛でしたね。
Yes, you're right, it's pointless. I guess that propagates from like way back at the beginning or something. Okay, we're gonna go Tsugumi stuff. And we're gonna kind of like try to get in Tsugumi's route and fail because we made that wrong decision in that one spot, right? We picked this because we didn't do it before, even though it's going to be long-winded, I'm sorry. But why is fate governed by goddesses?
それは
Well, yeah.
ズバリ萌えね
We'll finish the... Oh, and they added, like, youthful innocence in Japanese to the line. Simply put, it's moe. And that's all you says. What's that supposed to mean?
昔の人は目に見えない力定めなんかを超絶的なものとして擬人化して観念化するのよ
Back then, people anthropomorphized and personified invisible forces and destinies as transcendental entities.
その方がより身近で親しみやすいでしょ
That makes them more approachable, familiar, right?
春や秋の季節とか人工衛星なんかを擬人化するのと一緒だから女神にしたのは萌えよ
It's the same as personifying seasons such as spring or autumn or satellites, so people made fate connected to goddesses because it's moe. Isn't that a bit far-fetched?
じゃあそうね
Well, think about this.
例えば空が会話はできるけどパネルに取り付けた赤いランプだったりピンクのぬいぐるみだったらどう思う
For example, how would you feel if Sora could talk, but she was a red lamp attached to a panel or a pink stuffed animal? So, like, is this a reference? This was 2011 when this was first written, so there's nothing to do with Danganronpa 2 here, okay? Well, it's like, that's like talking about VTubing, you know, like, how would you feel if you did a VTube thing that was just like a talking fruit? I don't know, some people like it.
ギリシア神話のピグマリオンだって作った像がモアイ像だったら彫像に恋なんてしたかしら
Even in Greek mythology, if Pygmalion's creation was a Maui statue, like the Maui like face, would he have fallen in love with it? I guess Moe is important, but what exactly is Moe?
ねえ、ピグマリオンって何？
Hey, who's Pygmalion? As I wonder the meaning of Moe, the boy asks you a question.
お、よくぞ少年聞いてくれた。それじゃ、次はギリシア神話のピグマリオンのお話をするわね。
Oh, good question, boy. Then let me tell you about Pygmalion from Greek mythology. You starts to tell the story of Pygmalion. We listened along with the boy.
昔々、キプロスというところに彫刻家の青年がいました。
Wait, did I not read this before? Once upon a time, there was a young sculptor in Cyprus.
彼の名はピグマリオン。彼はキプロスの王とも呼ばれているけど、
I guess you only get the story if you make that choice. His name was Pygmalion. He was also known as the king of Cyprus.
まあ、神話の世界では偉い人のことをみんな王様や神様にしちゃうから、それはひとまず置いといて。
Well, in the world of mythology, everyone gets called a king or a god, so let's leave that aside for now.
ピグマリオン。彼の作る彫刻は素晴らしいものでした。それは生命力にあふれ、今にも動き出しそうな躍動感を感じさせるって巷で大評判でした。
I don't know if I read this in the Japanese version or not, because I don't remember which choice I made, but whatever. Pygmalion sculptures were magnificent. They were full of life and conveyed a sense of dynamism that seemed to come to life. They were highly praised.
だけど、ピグマリオンは独身で、周りの人々は、あのような素晴らしい才能を持った彼が、なぜ妻をめとることができないのかと、首をかしげていました。
But Pygmalion was unmarried, and people around him wondered, why can't someone with such incredible talent like him get married?
そう。ピグマリオンには、ちょっと女性に不審なところがあって、
Well, Pygmalion had some distrust towards women.
そのため、自分の彫刻作品を仕上げることにしか、まるで興味がなかったの。
As a result, he was only interested in finishing his sculptures.
そんなある日、彼は裸体の女性の彫像を一つ完成させました。
One day, he completed a sculpture of a nude woman.
これがまた惚れ惚れするような会心の出来栄え。私の最高傑作と呼ばれるだろうと、彼自身そう思いました。
It was an incredibly satisfying achievement. He believed it would be called his masterpiece.
だけど、
But
その自分でもうっとりするような、まるで生きているような美しい彫像を眺めているうちに、
as he gazed at the beautiful sculpture, which seemed to come to life,
ピグマリオンはその彼女の像が裸であることを急に恥ずかしく感じるようになりました。
he suddenly felt embarrassed that she was naked.
だから彼は彼女に服を着せてあげました。
So he decided to dress her, kanojo. Right?
そしてだんだん彼女のことが愛おしくなって、いつしか話しかけるようになりました。
And gradually, he became fond of her and started talking to her.
そのうち彼女に食べ物をあげようとしたり、夜は一緒に眠るようになって、その行動はどんどんエスカレートしていきました。
He even tried giving her food and began sleeping together with her at night. She was a stone sculpture, though. That's just awkward. And his actions escalated.
きっと彼は初めて純粋な恋をしたのね。
Perhaps it was the first time he felt pure love
自分の作った女性の彫像に。
toward the female statue he created.
ピグマリオンは自分の持てる愛情のすべてを彼女に注ぎました。
Pygmalion poured all
い
his
つか彼女が自分に語りかけてくれると信じて。
Pygmalion poured all his affection into her. He believed that one day she would speak to him.
そして仕事を忘れ、毎日寝食を惜しんで彼女に尽くしたピグマリオンは思い悩みます。
And then he became troubled as he devoted himself to her day and night, forgetting about work and sparing no effort for her sake.
体を動かせず、物を言えず、食べることも眠ることもできないこの彼女の姿があまりにも悲しい。
The sight of her, unable to move, unable to speak, unable to eat or sleep, was so sad. I believe her might be able to be translated, like girlfriend, potentially. Because Kanojo... I don't know.
もしもこの私、ピグマリオンが年老いて天に召されるとき、
If I, Pygmalion, were to grow old and be called to the heavens,
彼女はここに立ち尽くしたまま残され、朽ちるのを待つばかりとなるのだろうか。
would she be left standing here waiting to decay?
はあ、それは嫌だ。
I can't bear it.
彼女と添い遂げられないのなら、我が身を崖から投げ落としてしまった方がマシだ。
If I can't be with her, it would be better to throw myself off a cliff.
はあ、彼女が血の通った人間であったらどんなにいいだろうか。
Oh, how wonderful it would be if she were a living human being.
すると、この彼の祈りは天にいる愛の女神アフロディテに届き、
Then his prayer reached the love goddess Hermaphrodite in heaven.
女神アフロディテはピグマリオンの前に舞い降りて、彼に祈りを込め、彼女に口づけするように告げました。
The goddess Aphrodite descended before Pygmalion and instructed him to kiss her with all his love.
そして彼は彼女の彫像にそっとキスをした。
No, I did not read this in Japanese. I just figured out this is like the details of this are different than like the original versions, and I would have known like these different details, and I didn't. So this must be new from all my like let's playing of the remake. Not for the original game, of course. She says the story of Pygmalion in the original game, regardless of a choice. It's actually like it's not like you have a choice and different things come with different answers to the choice. And so he gently kissed the statue.
すると彫像の方にみるみる赤みがさして、その目はゆっくり見開かれ、彼女は艶やかな肌を持った人間の乙女へと姿を変えました。
Then a blush spread across the statue's cheeks, its eyes slowly opened, and she transformed into a beautiful maiden with radiant skin.
そしてピグマリオンは彼女と結婚し、子供も生まれ、幸せな家庭を築きます。
And Pygmalion married her, had children, and built a happy family.
その後、彼はそれまで以上に素晴らしい彫像を次々作り出していきましたとさ。
Afterwards, he continued to create even more wonderful sculptures one after another.
めでたしめでたし。
And they lived happily ever after.
ってのがピグマリオンのお話よ。
That's the story of Pygmalion. But how is that a happy ending?
どういう意味を？
What do you mean? Well, Pygmalion just became infatuated with his own statue, spending every day talking to her without doing any work and isolating himself in his room. Isn't that a bit creepy? And in the end, he was probably thinking something like, oh, if only the statue I made were a real cutie, huh? Well, she already was a real cutie because that's how he sculpted her. I didn't find it particularly happy, find it a particularly happy story. Basically, a shut-in complained until a goddess granted his wish, right?
分かってないね、お客さん。
You don't get it, do you? You wags her index finger at me.
話の本質はそこではないのだよ、ハドソン君。
That is not the essence of the story. Then, puffing at her chest, she began to speak again.
このピグマリオンの話はね、
The story of Pygmalion.
望んで願い、努力を怠らなければそれは叶うという、そのことを言い表しているのよ。
It expresses the idea that if you earnestly wish for something and don't slack off in your efforts, it will come true.
魂込めて作った彫像を本気で愛し、いつか言葉を返してくれると信じたからこそ、ピグマリオンの願いは叶ったんだから。
Because Pygmalion's wish came true when he sincerely loved the statue he created and believed that one day she would speak back to him.
そうなんだ。
I see. Wow.
それに、一年岩をも通すとか、信じる者は救われるって言うでしょ？
Also, you know the saying, where there's a will, there's a way, or believers will be saved, right?
そうだ、知ってる？ピグマリオン効果って。
Oh yeah, do you know about the Pygmalion effect? The Pygmalion effect?
意識的、無意識的に関わらず、他者に対する願望、期待などが相手に伝わって現実になるってことよ。
Whether consciously or unconsciously, desires and expectations toward others are conveyed and become reality. I get that sometimes humans can understand what another person is thinking or wishing for without even saying a word.
まあ、そういうことね。
Something like that. You wears a satisfied smile. Maybe if you choose why goddesses, that's like the Sora choice because you get the story of Pygmalion. And if you pick the other choice, I forgot what it is, something about strings of fate. That's the Tsugumi choice. They both kind of sound like Sora choices. I forgot what happens the other way. You get like the 4, you get like some other thing. Yeah, is that where the 4 Fs is? That does sound Tsugumi-ish, doesn't it? Let's stop her. We've already read this in the Japanese, but I haven't read this in the English. Wait a minute. I grabbed Tsugumi's arm. Tsugumi, you got seriously injured just yesterday, right? And we'll stop here.